The following is a non-profit, fan-made podcast. Welcome to Night Vale is a production of Commonplace Books. Please support the official release.
Terrible things have come to us. More terrible things are yet to come. If you are hearing this, you are one of the lucky ones. You are one of the living ones. If you are hearing this, it means you survived yet another night. Good morning, Night Vale. It's another bright and blistering desert morning here in Night Vale today, but you might notice it's a little brighter than usual. Sometime in the night, as we held our silent vigils against the encroaching chasms of insanity, someone or something literally paved our streets with gold. Now, it's only a thin dusting, and its extremely toxic nature suggests that it probably isn't actually gold, but the beauty of it is undeniable. Even the animal corpses down on Fifth Avenue glitter as if to say, "This is the America I was promised by Gram." So, put on your shades, some SPF 95 sunblock, and your best Sunday gas mask, and then go take a stroll down our newly gilded boulevards. Breaking news this morning, listeners. It seems there's a developing situation down at the Pinkberry frozen yogurt shop. Apparently, someone has taken 2 cashiers hostage. The building's only other occupant, an elderly man who was looking for the post office, was chased out by the hostage taker, who reportedly said, "Nobody should be here who isn't paid to be here." Witnesses standing outside the frozen yogurt shop described the guy as tall, like really tall, and he's got like this really bad 1990s bowl cut, and he's like sort of flickery, I guess, like, you know, kind of transparent. Oh, and he's got like 2 sets of arms and no eyes, so that's probably worth mentioning. Our special morning show intern, Greg, attempted to contact the sheriff for comment, but apparently he'd already left an angry message on our voicemail saying the following. This is exactly why you need to announce all your thoughts and intentions in a loud, clear voice near your electronics. This could have been avoided. We'll keep you updated as the story develops. Some news out of Old Town. Area birdwatchers are excited about the rash of unexpected starling sightings which have spread throughout the Old Town area. Over 24 homes have reported finding starlings, which are black, white, speckled birds, in their attics, basements, crawl spaces, and walls, all of which are dead. Roberta Silverman and Genevieve Jackson, whose house has a view of the squatter shacks, have reported finding a number of the birds in their basement. "Yeah, they're really crammed in there," says Silverman. "It's like a wall of black, silvery wings." Jackson adds, "I like to keep taking them out back to bury them with a shovel. But there's always more. They don't stop. I've had to quit my job and sleep 2 hours a night to keep up with burying all of them." Matters, of course, are complicated by the fact that there are often no windows or large openings in the areas where the birds tend to congregate. There's also no record of anyone encountering the birds while they are still alive. All starlings that have been found are already dead. They usually appear with a single red ribbon tied around their beaks and feet. The Glow Cloud that runs the Night Vale Elementary PTA was asked for comments due to its history of raining dead animals on the area, but all it had to say was, "All shall bow." No one is expected to investigate the Glow Cloud any further. Common starlings were introduced to North America after 2 failed attempts, in 1890 in the New York Central Park and by the Portland Songbird Club in Portland, Oregon. The birds from Portland disappeared from the Pacific Northwest around 1902, but reappeared in the 1940s, possibly descendants from the starlings in New York. Common starlings are not considered native to Night Vale, at least not until now. 30 houses so far have reported the dead starlings. The owners of said houses have added that they feel distressed, afraid, and, in many cases, physically ill. Bird enthusiasts in Night Vale, however, remain absolutely delighted. And now, a community announcement which was just slipped under my door. Stop. Stop doing that. Stop it now. It isn't good for you. There is nothing to be gained from this. It isn't good for anyone. Please just stop. Please stop. Thank you, anonymous benefactor. We will all keep that in mind. In other news, the mayor's press conference about our scarab beetle infestation has just concluded. She opened by reassuring everyone that everything is fine, that everything has always been fine, and that everything will always be fine. After several minutes of uncomfortable silence, she recited some pretty terrible poetry. After several more uncomfortable minutes, she concluded the press conference by announcing, "Bingham is to blame for this." Then she repeated, "Bingham is to blame," with increasing intensity over and over until her voice was an unintelligible shriek and blood coated her lips. We also regret to inform you that 2 stenographers present in the audience at the time have died of internal hemorrhaging. That reminds me, it's time for a pre-recorded commercial message from our sponsors. Chaos trickles off the carrion world and runs through your fingers like honey. You cup your hands under the thick flow of it. A small sip from the pool in your palm satisfies a deep thirst you hadn't known existed. The flavor is unlike any you've ever tasted. As wicked and as sweet as sin. As subtle and as warm as lavender. Blood red, like the moon. There, in the palm of your hands, the dead world's ichor has crystallized. You pluck the crystal from your flesh, and you are smoked with affection for it. You cherish it, and place it on a glass shelf in your home. It basks in flawless and expensive lighting in the glow of your adoration. IKEA. Affordable solutions for better living. An update on the hostage situation down at the Pinkberry frozen yogurt shop. Intern Greg's on site at the Pinkberry, and he's reporting back that the guy in question has identified himself as Belroth the Long-Suffering, a refugee from a nightmare dimension. Belroth says he released the hostages when and if he is guaranteed asylum and amnesty in Night Vale. Look, I'm not here to judge his circumstances, dear listeners, but this has me troubled. If we give him asylum and amnesty, we're saying it's okay for beings from other dimensions to take hostages. That's a precedent I'd rather not have set. I mean, how long is it before Night Vale citizens take up the same attitude? Don't like your coffee at the diner? Take some hostages. Line too long at the DMV? Take some hostages. That is not a world I want to live in. And hey, I don't mean to sound multiverse elitist, but Night Vale doesn't have the infrastructure to harbor any more nightmare creatures. I mean, why can't Belroth just find a nice empty dimension to hide in? There's more universes than just ours and his torturous realm to hide in, and... Is that a phone? It is. And this is the number for the lab by Big Rico's. This could be relevant to our interests. I hope you don't mind if I take this on air. Hello?
Hello, is Cecil there?
Cecil doesn't come in until later this evening. He's probably not even awake right now.
But this is his phone. Why do you have his phone? Who are you?
Oh, I know what happened. Could you hold on just a moment, please? Listeners, it seems there's something I need to explain to our town's favorite scientist. So, this seems as good a time as any to go to the weather report. I'll be right back. Are you still there? Yeah, this is 9 a.m.
Picture of a perfect town, all radios turn on to white noise. But before we can climb your mind, Hello Night Waves as a voice. You might soon hear you're non-existent when you're pretty sure you were there. Share your fate with all the mountains and the moon up in the air. This is the weather the voice claims, and sure enough it starts to rain. Ever and wide and screeches are going down the drain. Only after us the sunrise with a new sun and its yellow eyes. So every last man is advised, while the melody is falling, stay inside. Now a short word from the sponsor, so quick you won't even hear it come. Limbs of all kinds on fashion now. You should get your kids to sprout some.
And we're back with good news from the Pinkberry Frozen Yogurt shop. Apparently, the problem has solved itself. According to Greg, as a bullhorn poked from the back window of a black sedan attempting to negotiate with Belroth, a vortex opened up over the building. At first, nothing happened. There was only a sound, as if an ocean of souls were breaking upon a rocky shore and crying out in agony. Then the vortex descended, engulfing the building fully. When it evaporated 3 minutes later, both the building and Belroth were gone. So, really, 2 problems were solved today. You'll be happy to know that the hostages did not suffer any physical harm. They were both left weeping on the pristine foundation at the yogurt shop, but medics that arrived on the scene said not a scratch on them. Not on the outside, anyway. And really, no one's going to mourn the loss of that Pinkberry, so nothing of value is lost. Come to think of it, that's just how life is sometimes, isn't it? Sometimes things happen and they seem big and scary and unpredictable, and we waste all of our time trying to think what we're going to do about them, even before something's actually happened. When really, all you can ever do, is take responsibility for the things that affect you directly. In the meantime, you can plan and learn and think, but when it comes down to it, sometimes you simply have no control over the things going on around you. Knowing that, all you can really do is take every day for what it's worth and deal with things as they happen. There's really no point in reacting to things that haven't happened yet, because they might resolve themselves, or they might just vanish into thin air. So, on that note, dear listeners, I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day. Please stay tuned for 8 hours of silence leading into the nighttime report. Content for this episode was written by Nicholas Patrick, with the Birdwatching Report by Jillian Daniels. The weather was The Weather by Maria and Frauck from One of the Exact Sciences. And the music was Trust Everyone by Emily Fitch. Carlos was voiced by Reddit user Connects2. And while the real voice of Night Vale is Cecil Baldwin, I'm just Diesel S. From all of us, sincerely, thank you for listening.